Hey guys, hey, it's Brie here. I'm so curious on what direction this video / podcast is gonna go because there's just a lot of downloads that are coming through right now. So I'm very curious on what direction we're actually gonna go and what's actually gonna be said. So I wanted to first start with this little part and the notes from the north. So I just finished the north notes for my students in the medicine wheel, and I thought this part was very interesting, and there's a tangent that's going to take off from this, and stick with me, okay, because there's a lot that's going to come from this and there's a huge tangent that's going to come out of this. But like I said, just stick with me for a little bit, okay? So if you are new here, welcome. Like I said, I am Brie. I am the owner of The Savvy Wolf Holistic Healing and Hidden Gems. I am a shamanic teacher, a shamanic healer, and a lover of all things Mother Earth. So if you are ready, well, then let's get to healing. I feel like I need to whew, here we go. Okay. If it is meant for you, it will be. Fate is not something out of reach or that we have to continually search for. At any point in time, we can choose a different direction. If you imagine it like Alice in Wonderland, which Alice in Wonderland is one of my all-time favorite movies, by the way, you guys. I watched the VHS version. Yep, just aged myself a little bit. Apparently I'm old, okay? I learned this today from a kid. But anyways, I watched that until there was nothing left of the VHS, it was completely ruined. So it's one of my favorites. I've watched all the Alice in Wonderlands. But anyways, imagine it is like Alice in Wonderland. She's walking down the path when she runs into Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Remember when she runs into them? Here she has to make a choice. The choice she chose took her to the Queen of Hearts, but it also helped her to find her own strength and independence. She learned some valuable lessons along the way and found her way out of the rabbit hole. So you do not have to worry about picking the wrong path. At any time, you can always find the timeline to your highest destiny. Even if you choose, I'm using quotations here for those that are listening to the podcast, but choose the wrong path. There are no wrong choices. And choosing to go down the path Alice chose, she learned that she can do impossible things. She found her voice and truth. Alice found her highest destiny. She, however, had to work through some fighting, especially against the Queen of Hearts. Here is where we learn that we need to let go of the weight and ties of karma for us to change paths to fulfill our highest destinies. The Queen of Hearts was Alice's karma. We do this by taking one step, one day, one choice, one thought, one action, healing, as we clear our original agreed upon soul purpose. So at any point in time, we can step on to our highest destiny, our highest timelines. We're not on the wrong path. We're not making the wrong choices. We're not always making mistakes. I learned this in the last year. 2023 was hard for me, you guys. I know it was hard for a lot of people. But you want to know what? It taught me some very strong lessons. It taught me some very hard truths. I learned a very hard reality to what was being created and what I had stepped into rather than what I had. So I learned some very hard truths in that. But here's the thing. We as a collective, you guys, we are stronger than we've ever been. We might look weak. We might look like, we're just running around trying to figure things out, but we're actually really, really strong. We are strong as a collective, and we are learning so much right now. So much. And it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's wonderful. But we are also more powerful, stronger than our ancestors were, than our past lives were. Our past lives are probably, those timelines are coming together and they're like, damn, I wish I'd been that Brie. I wish I had been this Brie. I know one of my timelines that I healed where I self-sabotaged myself, and she literally, who did she self-sabotage herself? And I'm sure that soul part of me, that person I was in that past life, wishes she had the knowledge that she has in this lifetime. Wishes that she was exactly where I am right now. Same with you. Your past life self is probably so proud of you because you are where she or he wishes they had been at this point in time, wishes they knew what you know. We are literally opening up the Akashic records, you guys. What does that mean? We're learning. We're stepping into the truth. We're remembering. And that is powerful in itself. That is strong. That is some strong, strong stuff. Is that we are remembering. We are literally remembering. So we are literally opening those Akashic records up wide. And a lot of us are saying like, we are done. No more. Let it go. We do not want to go to the past anymore. We are officially done with it. You guys, I can't even begin to tell you, like, my sessions with my clients and stuff have changed so much in the last year. And so much so that I've noticed them stepping into their own purpose also, their own truth. I've noticed them clearing out this heavy energy also. We did a huge clearing last year, you guys, a huge clearing. And so that means that we now get to put those pieces back together. We now get to step into our highest destinies. We now get to step into our truths, into who we truly are. We get to believe in ourselves. There is something really cool and very beautiful about learning to believe in yourself and stepping into your highest destiny and becoming your true, authentic self. There is something absolutely beautiful in that. So I want you to give yourself a pat on the back right now. Pause this video, pause this podcast if you have to. Give yourself a pat on the back, clap your hands, because guess what? You did it. You did it. That's awesome. Like, thumbs up to you. You stinking did it. You know how hard that is? A lot of people choose not to heal because it's just easier to stay in that darkness and that pity and that ick than it is to let it go. Because it becomes your identity, it becomes your truth, it becomes who you are. But it's not fun. And you keep learning the same patterns, and you keep going in the same direction, and you keep meeting the same people. So when you decide to stop doing that, when you decide to stop being that person, when you decide to start working on yourself, when do you decide to come out of the rabbit hole and stand up for yourself? That's when you step on your highest timeline. That's when you find your destiny, your truth. That's when you find the healing. There's so much beauty in that, you guys. There's so much beauty in just finding the healing. I am so proud of every single one of my clients this last year because they have done the impossible. But I am also proud of myself because I have done the impossible. I did things that I never thought I could have done. I brought a beautiful baby girl into this world and then has started to raise her on my own. Something I never thought I honestly could do. I walked away from some very toxic relationships with some very toxic communication and just constant, believing the worst in me, and we'll just go with the toxic communication. And there's a lot to go with that, but I walked away from that, and that's hard. So if you walked away from a toxic situation or friendship or relationship or whatever, congratulations. That is hard. That is extremely hard. And there's so much in that. If you have to do, a fire ceremony, if you have to write a letter, if you have to, whatever, and burn it, do it. Because that is powerful. That is some deep shadow work there. And I want you to just breathe. But I will tell you guys, the Brie I was a few years ago is nothing compared to the Brie now. I have done a lot of looking back in the past, the last couple months. I did a lot of looking back and seeing where I may have made the wrong decisions, where I made wrong choices. I'm using quotations again for those who are listening on the podcast, but I don't know that they're wrong choices anymore. They were wrong choices in that moment in time, and I own up to that, and I learned that, and I have faced that. But now, they're not mistakes. They're not wrong choices. They're creating something even bigger and better for myself. They are creating that something that is stronger. They are creating a stronger foundation for my future. Something more beautiful for my clients. Something even bigger and better and more beautiful for the collective. You know, I am but a mere speck in the universe of everything that is going on. I am a mere teeny tiny little dot, like a little piece of dust in the bigger picture of what is actually going on. But by me clearing things out energetically, by me releasing a lot of that toxic energy and letting go, that has helped expand, that little dust has helped expand that light to all these other little particles of dust around me, these little particles of energy around me, which expands out even further than we can even perceive. You know, maybe there is somebody clear across the ocean right now that it healed them, that it created something stronger, and that person is going to cure cancer. I don't know. I'm really putting that out into the universe a lot lately because cancer hit my family hard in the last couple of years, so I've been putting that out. Whoever's supposed to heal the cancer, please come forward. Please stand up. I feel like Slim Shady right now, but you know, if the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Anywho, but that's just it. We might be this little teeny tiny little bit of dust, but that little bit of dust can do so much. It can do so much. So while you might be just a little piece in the universe, your healing, your work, whatever it is that you are doing has a bigger effect in the world. I'm just saying. So that little timeline that you think you're on, that mistake you think you made, can become a lesson, can become a beauty in this world. It can become something beautiful. Another one of my favorite movies was Beauty and the Beast. Still is to this day. I love Beauty and the Beast. The book. I have the original Beauty and the Beast book. I've read it upside down, right side, backwards, everything. Like, you can tell the pages are almost falling out of this book, okay? And the thing about Beauty and the Beast, I'm talking about like the good version Beauty and the Beast. I think there's like a bad version, like there is with all of those. Anyways, stick with me for a minute. But anyways, so I look at some of what I created, some of what had happened as that being the beast. You know, my shadow had become the beast. And so my shadow was creating this kind of like a curse within myself of self-sabotaging and just beating myself up, you know. And sometimes, you know, I did tell one of my clients this one time that she was the beast. She was acting as the beast. But the cool thing about the beast is at the end of that movie, at the end of the story, he becomes the prince. He becomes the handsome prince again. So in finding love, in finding beauty in his situation, he became the prince. Do you see where I went with that? I love those little like analogy things. Like, I love those things because I'm definitely somebody that I watched a lot of movies growing up. I was really sick all the time. So I lived a lot in movies, in books and stuff like that. So that stuff interests me, and I love putting that stuff together in what is actually happening in real life. But you can see how that is how it is today. You know, in my newest service of sessions, my newest service that I provide for sessions, there we go, words are hard. It's called shadow healing. So I never realized this, but what I perceive as, what I thought was people being dark, that they had this dark, heavy energy around them, that it was just gross, it was just pure blackness. I mean, on one person it was black, like it was dark, was actually their shadow coming out. So I can see their shadow on the outside of them. I can see their shadow, and it looks like this dark, swirling cloud of just swirliness, you know, just this puffy darkness. And so I've started doing these sessions that are called shadow healing, where I help clear that energy, that away from your auric field. I'm clearing out that shadow energy while you're going in and meeting your shadow self. But I never realized that. So I saw these people as the beast. I saw these people as darkness because I didn't even realize that that was their shadow on the outside of their body. That was them. That was their shadow, and they just needed shadow work. They needed to work on their shadow, you know? That one particular person just needed to do some very heavy shadow work because I was a mirror for them. I was constantly triggering them, so that means they had a lot of shadow work they needed to do. But I didn't realize that, so I saw them as a beast. I saw them as something ugly. Same with somebody else. You know, a few of you guys know that I had an abusive relationship with my ex-girlfriend. Well, I saw this darkness around her also all the time. That was because she needed to do shadow work. And instead of, you know, saying, hey, you need to do shadow work, of course, I didn't realize what that was. I saw the beast. I only saw the beast. Now, I see the prince within the beast. So when you can see the prince within the beast, you can see the beauty in every ugly situation. You can start to clear up your own karmic energy. You can start to clear up your own timelines, and you can step onto your highest timeline. At any point in time in our lives, we can step on our highest timeline. We don't have to stay on this timeline, but we do have multiple timelines. We have multiple choices. At any point in time, we make a choice that puts us onto a certain timeline. When I chose to sell everything and move away from South Carolina, I stepped onto a timeline that was extremely hard and could have ended up, that timeline was headed down a very disastrous timeline because I walked away from everything, because I refused to stand up for myself, because I self-sabotaged, because I listened to the wrong person when I should have been listening to myself. It wasn't that this person was trying to lead me down the wrong path. It was that I wasn't listening to my own intuition. I wasn't listening to myself. So when this person said something, instead of listening to that gut instinct that said no, I listened to them. So then I created the beast. Now I'm healing the beast, and the beast is becoming the prince, and I'm building a stronger foundation for my future, and we are stepping onto our highest timeline. If you know, right? So I don't want you to beat yourself up. Again, we don't make wrong choices. We don't make wrong decisions. At any point in time, we can step onto our highest timeline. On any point in time, we can heal. We can work on ourselves. So I don't want you to beat yourself up anymore. I know there's a huge confusion of timelines and all this stuff, and instead of being worried about what timeline am I on, what direction am I going in, what is my purpose, what is my destiny, just follow your heart. Listen to your own intuition. Listen a little bit to that logical brain that's saying, girl, this is stupid. Why the heck are you selling your house and walking away from a business that you spent 3 years building? You know, listen a little bit to that too. Just a little bit, okay? Oh boy, do I have a story for you guys one day when I'm ready. But anyways, listen to that, and you will always find yourself on the timeline that you are meant to be on. Instead of constantly searching, and instead of constantly trying to level up, instead of constantly trying to be better than something, instead of constantly competing, instead of constantly grasping for something, we are growing. That's what I like to think of. We are growing. And in growing is healing, in growing is love, in growing is truth, in growing is finding yourself. So I'm going to leave you guys with this, and this is the afterthoughts that I left with my students for the North. I don't know why I had to insinuate that, but anyways. First, we start out as mere specks within the universe until we become a soul ready to come to the earth. Perhaps we have traveled far through the galaxies, or Earth is our first home. Here we have come to learn the lessons and find the healing. We were called here to help raise the vibration of Mother Earth and to help her heal. Years ago, she sent out a wave of frequency that reached every corner of the universe for help. So we came, knowing we would also have to forget where we came from, and that we would have to live on timelines where we do great work and times where we are not as good. Here we learn the lessons, and in doing so, begin to heal her. Here we clear the karma, and in doing so we help heal the collective. Here we heal the ancestors, and in doing so we heal the mistakes and pain. Here we grow, and in doing so Mother Earth grows. Here we have come to heal and grow. Become, and when we are done, we will become a part of the stars, knowing that we did our part in helping Mother Earth. We are not bigger than the picture, we are but small specks in the grander design of things. We may learn to fly high above the mountains, or we may learn to plant our roots into the earth. We may learn to walk beside Mother Earth, or we may go home to the stars in the sky. We may create, but we may also destroy. We learn that our actions have a ripple effect that may occur across the world from us, or it may occur right within our own space. So we learn to be still, to become one with Mother Earth, to heal so our traumas do not become another's, and we learn forgiveness. We learn that we are one, and in one, we heal. I love you guys so very, very much. Thank you for either watching. If you are watching this episode on YouTube, please click that like button, subscribe. We are here for the healing. And if you are listening to this on the podcast, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next episode. Bye guys.